Cobb actually made some comments regarding Shohei Ohtani, which I found to be like really, exciting to hear from a player on the team. I mean, you're around this team. Is that even a reality? I mean, Flem, are we just talking nonsense, even wishing, dreaming, thinking about a trade deadline to try to bring in someone like Shohei Ohtani?
Well, trade deadline, I guess I shouldn't say that it's impossible, but I really feel like that is unlikely. I mean, number one, I just don't see the Angels. If they lose every game from now until the trade deadline, yeah, then they'd probably entertain it. But assuming that doesn't happen, I just don't see them trading him away. And
totally fair.
The owner, you could argue with that logic. Like, you could say that in theory it sounds good. Hey, if you're not going to re-sign him and your odds of actually going to the playoffs are not that great. But I sympathize with, you've got that guy on your team. I just don't think I would want to be the guy who traded him away. And I would still feel like, hey, we're going to make our best pitch, and if he chooses somebody else, he chooses somebody else. But I'm not going to take it for granted that he's leaving us. So that's my first thought, is that it's going to be really hard to trade for him. And I think the haul would have to be so high that even though he is the greatest player in the game right now and the most unique player of all time, I would pause before I gave up my whole farm system for 2 months of a guy when I don't believe that's going to give you much of an advantage in signing him in the. I mean, I think he's going to do a true free agency tour and consider all his options, no matter where he gets traded, if that were to happen. So that's my long-winded answer. Now, Ohtani as a free agent, a whole different thing.
Right.
And it's going to captivate the sports world. It's going to be the biggest story in baseball, like Judge was, but times two probably. And the Giants are going to be in the mix for that. Now, does that mean they're going to sign him? It does not mean that, but they're going to be in the mix for Shohei.